What's going on, guys? Today I finally started making videos again. I have been really super busy, and yeah. Today I'm an idiot with a microphone because it is yet another banlist discussion that's gonna be on YouTube. This is for the April 2018 or May 2018 ban list predictions and wish list. It's quite an extensive list of cards I put together. So let's go ahead and get right to it, shall we? So first off, I know everything's not in like order, but I did it and just sorted it. So let's start with Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. I feel like this card should be definitely like hit. I don't know if banning it would be fair. The deck would then just not be playable. Sorry, I get the hiccups. I just don't think the deck would be playable at that point if you do decide to hit this card. I think it'd be fair at limited status. I don't see it becoming that big of a problem. Once you get over it once, it's pretty much gone. You can't really Monster Reborn it. I mean, you can actually. That's what's crazy. You can Monster Reborn it. I'm pretty sure it must be first. I don't know. Maybe not. But being at 1 would be fine. I think being at 1 would make this deck a lot more fair in cut its potential and even it up to some of the other decks that are gonna get hit or possibly. Cosmo Dart Destroyer. I feel like this card could come back to 2. I am an Advent fan. I love Star Wars, so obviously I like Cosmos. I like the engine. I like the art type. I like the just the mechanic gameplay of it. I like how they could tag in, tag out, and they effects. I think Dart Destroyer was deserving to be limited when it was limited, but I think that was like 2 years ago now. I feel like Dart Destroyer can come back to 2, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I just feel like it's not like as big and as like big and looming over every other card in the game. And we have Masterpiece in the game, so I mean. Speaking of which, Dart Destroyer can actually run it over by 50. But speaking of which, Masterpiece, limited would probably be my best bet. If they don't hit this diagram, definitely they should hit. But if they don't hit diagram, they should definitely hit. I think they only need to hit one of them. I don't think they need to hit both. If they hit both, the deck's gonna take a gut punch. I really think they only need to hit one, and I think that would probably need to be Masterpiece. You hit Masterpiece, the deck loses it loses two of its boss monsters, and it's still playable because it's searchable. Because if you hit diagram, you lose searching ability, but you still have 3 of these, and then you'll have to like draw into it. But it depends on what they decide. And anyway, yeah, moving on, because I'm trying to get down this video quickly. Overtext Quatless. This card's just retarded. You could just, I hate this card. I really don't have a problem with dinosaurs other than a few cards and the 3 on here. This is probably the biggest problem. I like the support it gave dinosaurs, but that was before it was like played and before it became super relevant. And now it's like really annoying because everybody I know seems to want to be playing dinosaurs. This card's just really annoying. Searching Double Evolution for free, just because it gets them to the grave. I don't even care about the other effect, because you could like during the player's turn you could destroy a spell trap card and negate. You negate a spell and trap during the player's turn for just destroying a dinosaur in your hand, and that's pretty dumb. Moving on to pendulums for a little bit. Astrograph Sorcerer. This card doesn't need any self-explanatory. This card self, like, just everybody should know what this card does by now. It probably should be banned. probably, I would hope it gets banned. This card does not need to be in this game right now. Maybe when pendulums get a little bit, like, more balanced in links. This is ridiculous that this is even, like, we're talking about this, because everybody other than, like, a few people I know, including myself, I was one of the few people that said pendulums were still gonna be good. And look at them, like, they're just really good, and it's mainly astrographs, like, just fucking great effect that just fucking does it for this deck. Just searching, 3 searches at least, if you, this fucking card is ridiculous and needs to get banned. Limited would still be powerful because of fucking Electromite. Your Dark Worm, I only put this on here because people talk about it, so I wanted to include it, but I don't think this card's a problem. I think this is just a generic searcher that searches your scale. You're only going to search one scale, and that's the 0. 13 you're never going to search, and if you do, you're probably bad and don't know how to play the deck, or you just have that's your last target and you have to search. But yeah, this is just on there because people talk about it. I don't think it needs to get hit or anything. Damage Juggler. If Trick Stars don't get hit, which that reminds me. That actually reminds me. Anywho. Yep, anyway, sorry about that. Yeah. If, like, Trick Stars are still going to be in the meta, which I'm assuming they will, no matter what. Just because they're a popular deck by people, to people, sorry. I just feel like this card could be so much more useful than being at 1. At 1, it's not going to help you negate enough damage to help you win the game. It's going to negate, like, 1, maybe 1, like, I mean, it's not even really that great against Trick Stars, because Reincarnation doesn't do damage itself. So, it's not like it stops Reincarnation, because if it did, holy crap, that'd be amazing. I just feel like it should be at least 2, maybe. I think this card should just jump back to 3. Burn decks are taking a lot of notice, or, well, not taking a lot of notice, are being played more often at my locals, and from what I've seen on regionals, and people tell me what they've gone and seen at regionals. So yeah, burns starting to become popular again, ugh. So I think Damage Juggler is a good way to counter that, obviously. Just negating damage to keep you alive is great. I mean, I knew Wabaku is still legal, but that card is, I mean, it's trap, it's slow, and Damage Juggler is just, it's great because it searches for a performance monster. Moving on. Zodiac Ratpier. I feel like this card could go back to 2. Zoo's not really doing much. Link's kind of hurt it. I mean, not really. I'm sure someone has broken this deck, but just can't talk because of all the other decks. This card could probably go back to 2. I feel like Dryden and Brabble can go back both to 1. I just don't feel like it's super relevant anymore, and I just don't think it will ever be relevant again, honestly. Sir, I feel like this could go back to 2 as well. I just don't think you're gonna get away with trying to sell Burning Abyss with that new Link monster without giving them some, like, motive and incentive to come back and start playing the deck. Sure, some of the BA fans will still play it even if it's at 1, but if you want more of the people to join you, play the deck and buy the card, you're going to want to give them more support, and I think Sir's the better of the 2 than Graph. I don't think Graph is all that super important to the deck. This one's really freaking good. But, wait, no, I'm thinking of Graph. They're both good, but I think Sir's more important for people to have back too. Anyway, moving on to Mathematician. This is going to deal with just some of the Shadal hits I'm going to talk about later. But, yeah, Shadal's, I think this could go back to 3. If it becomes too powerful again, just limit it again. This card has seen weird things on the ban list. It's been at 3, it's been at 2, it's been at 1, it's been at 2. It's insane that we're even talking about this card still, because this card has just been power crap. But yeah, I think I like the card still. It's still a really good card. But I just think it could possibly get limited or unlimited, just depending on how Shaddolls do if they unlimit some of their support, or ban or limit some support. Joel and Lockbird, just ban it. This card is unfair. Um, this with reincarnation literally is unfair for players who just, or the opposite end of it. Reincarnation isn't that big of a problem for me, honestly. It's a bounce card. You banish 5 and you draw 5. It's a bounce card. It's a little powerful because of it. It can like save your opponent by banishing its special summon, but it doesn't keep you from playing the game. Draw and lock keeps you from playing and searching for a whole turn after you use it. So this card is just ridiculous and should not be played right now. Like, this card should not be legal. It's on the Astrograph Sorcerer absurdity level. It's just fucking ridiculous. Instant Fusion. For the Pendulum FTK, I feel like this is the problem card. I don't really feel like it's Lyrilusk or Starving Venom. They're on the list as well, but I wanted to talk about them in their own respect, because, I mean, they're both pretty powerful. I think Instant Fusion is a problem. It's been a problem for a while. I don't think it's ban worthy. I think it's limit worthy. It would still be searchable with the Predaplant engine, which is once per duel, so I don't think you'd want to search for, like, this when you want to search. Especially when Brilliant Fusion. The only reason why Brilliant Fusion didn't make it, by the way, is because I just don't think it's super game breaking. Yeah, it's absurd and it probably should get hit, but I'm biased because I do play a Brilliant Fusion deck with Madolche. I play Brilliant Madolche, and I'm kind of biased to that. But Instant Fusion is just fucking ridiculous. It's been a problem for a while. I don't think it should get banned, but at the same time, I do think it should get banned, because it's one of those cards that like, it leads stupid stuff. This card has been around for, like, God knows how many FTKs. There's the Tyrant Neptune in this card. It's ridiculous, but at the same time, it's because of Instant Fusion that you can even make Lyrilusk. Because no Lyrilusk deck is not going to play Tyrant Neptune just for that one play. They'd play 3 Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion is the go-to card to hit, in my opinion. Of course, I'm just an idiot with a microphone, right? Anyway, grass is greener. Since the card decks are getting more popular, I think Konami can help sell them more by just putting this at 3. I don't think this card should be at 1. You can limit Fairy Tale Snow, which should have actually been on this list, but I forgot it. Fairy Tale Snow should be limited, and then you can bring this back to 3, and I feel like that would be fair. I feel like that would be a fair trade-off for getting a card back to 2 and then taking 2 of a card. Yeah, I just feel like grass is really good, and back then when it got limited, I guess it was a little OP. But a lot of people were playing Cincy cards, so not a lot of people are playing Cincy cards anymore. Well, there's dinosaur players and some White Sworn zombies, but that's just about it. Pantheism, I really think this card could come back to 3. Yeah, it would probably break Monarchs again, but I just really want to see this at 3 again. I feel like Monarchs would give every other deck in this meta run for their money again, and I feel like that's what we need to slow down the game. We'll slow down the meta and slow down pendulums, and I don't know how Monarchs would do against Trickstars, but I don't think it'd be that great, honestly. I think that'd be the one bad matchup Monarchs have, even with 3 Pantheism. I mean, it's hard to keep you from getting burned to death and reincarnated. Double evolution pill. This card's fucking ridiculous. If you ban Overtet's Quatless or just limit it, you're gonna have to play less copies of this. I mean, I guess you could draw it and it's okay, but if you don't have stuff to use it with, then it's pretty bad. So you definitely want to you definitely want to have this whenever you need it. But if you just limit this and keep Quatless at 3, then that creates an over unbalancing thing. It's weird, but trying to balance these two cards, because one gives you this card and the other one can just fucking break the other one. So yeah. Anywho, moving on. Monster Reborn. This is only in here because people talk about it. I think it's balanced. I literally have not lost a game to a Monster Reborn. Oh, that's a lie. I have. I've lost a Blue Eyes deck. Lost to a Blue Eyes. I lost the game to a Blue Eyes player because he taught that Monster Reborn. I wasn't salty. I mean, I was a little salty, but I wasn't like complaining. I mean, I'm sure if that was me, I wouldn't have complained. So I try to look at it both sides. The card's fair. It's a fair card that I just. This is a fair card, no matter what people say and think. It's just a fair card. There's not much you could say. It's not super game breaking like people thought. Like it's not Snatch Steal game breaking. It's okay at best. Because you have to pick the right monster if you want to push for a game. I mean, unless your opponent is nothing like I did against the Blue Eyes player. It's just diagram. I'd rather see this stay at 3 than Masterpiece stay at 3. I really like Diagram. I think it's a balanced spell. A field spell. I really think it's balanced, believe it or not. Masterpiece, I think, is a little OP. I mean, for God's sake, it could pop a card during the player's turn and is unaffected by certain cards. It's towers, but less attack and cooler artwork. Basically. But yeah, I think Diagram should stay at 3. I don't think this should get hit. But it probably will because I said that. Reincarnation. I think hitting Draw Lock first for the format and then seeing that format how this deck does with Reincarnation. I feel like that would be fair before you hit this. So you could hit this to 1 and ban Droll or limit Droll. And that makes the Droll combo super hard to pull off. But that's still a combo, and you still can pull it off, and your opponent would get really salty about it. So yeah, let's just ban Droll and keep Reincarnation, or ban Reincarnation or keep Droll. You have to ban one and keep the other. Or ban both. That would be great. But the deck wouldn't be playable, and we already know they have more support coming, so that's not gonna happen. Anti-Spell Fragrance. This card should get banned. This card is literally Veni's emptiness for Pendulum players. You flip this during their standby or their main phase. They lose unless they have an immediate, like, Torn Twister or Typhoon or some other bullshit that they don't even play anymore, because Torn Twisters has been allocated to the side deck, if at all, anymore. So, yeah, it's not really a card you see anymore. So, Cyclone, however, is, but they have to have it, and most people only play in 2 copies, so it's not like you have to be really scared or anything. Moving on to the Extra deck. Sorry, it's a long video, but this is a long video. Starving Venom, Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom. This card is notorious because it has really good effect, but I'm only mentioning it because it is part of the FTK. It is the card that technically does the FTK. Again, it's not this card's fault. It's Instant Fusion and Lyra Lusk. But this is the least card to blame for the entire trifecta of the FTK. But this card is still pretty retarded because it can take other card effects and just absolutely be retarded. It could. I think it should get limited or hit only because of its effect, but not because of the FTK. If it gets hit, I would like to think it would be because of another reason. Because of its effect could still literally any card's name than the FTK, because the FTK, I don't think this deserves to get hit because of the FTK, because it's definitely Lyra Lusk and Instant Fusion's fault for the FTK. This card's just ridiculous on its own. Should I win though? The only reason I'm mentioning this, because if you could tell in the bottom row with all those banned cards, I have Construct. I feel like Construct could come back to 1. The OCG got it put to 1, so I feel like we can, and I feel like it will. So you might as well put Window to 1, or, yeah, put it to 1. I feel like both having them at 1 would make the deck playable still, and fun, but not overpowered like it was back in the day. Lyra Lusk, Nightingale. What can I say? This card does 500. This card is literally the FTK card. Not literally. This card is the card that promotes the FTK. This is the stepping stone. This is you instant fusion for this. Again, it just goes out to instant fusion, which is what I'm trying to get people ahead. This card is not really that big of a deal. I mean, on its own, it does 500 damage with instant fusion. But all you have to do is bring this on the field and send it to the grave with a Link Rebo or Metal Foe, the Zephyra, Metaltron, and then you could just bring out Starving Venom and then use this. So this card's just fucking ridiculous because it promotes an FTK, and I know you're like, well, that logic don't make sense. Instant Fusion leads it to this. This lets Starving Venom copy it. Yeah, Starving Venom's already retarded because of its own effect, but I already mentioned that. That's why I think that should get hit, not because of the FTK. This card can FTK in itself. So the fact that it promotes another card that can FTK with it, and itself can FTK in the right deck, I feel like is enough to at least get looked at. I don't think it should get hit. I think Konami should look at it and think about possibly hitting it. Maybe it should get hit. If they hit it, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine. I just don't think it's good enough to get hit. Instant Fusion and Starving Venom deserve to get hit more, and between those two, I think Instant Fusion needs to get hit first, because honestly, that card has just been out forever. And it's Cyber Dark Impact, and the card hasn't really been always useful, but it's always led to like stupid FTKs and other fusions. In fact, we have Norden on the list because I feel like if you limit instant fusion, if that's what they do, you could bring back Norden to 1. I mean, that's perfect. I mean, Norden was never the problem anyway, but we'll get that to in a second. Electromite. Again, this card's really powerful, but I don't think it's ban-worthy. I don't think it's limit-worthy. You limit it, well, if you ban it, well, then literally every pendulum deck in the game now suffers from not being able to play a generic Link monster that promotes that engine. Or mechanic, whatever you want to call it. Mechanic, yeah. I feel like this card is going to stay at 3 for now, but I feel like this card will also get hit one day because it is pretty powerful. I mean, with you send Astrograph, and then that's why Astrograph's ridiculous, is because of Electromite, but you have to take Astrograph away because Electromite just is generic support for a mechanic, and Konami usually doesn't hit cards that do that. Sometimes they do, most of the time they really don't. Anyway, moving on to the banned cards that I feel like could get limited or get put off the list. And there's short explanation why. Dynamite Knight, to give True Draco some support if you do end up hitting Masterpiece of Diagram. Shadows, because there's new hero support. Double Iris, because, okay, this card is not that fucking great. It searches a spell or trap, that's it. You took Joker, give us Double Iris so we can make Zark the right way. Construct, because support, and because of OCG, and I feel like this card really is going to come off the list. Norden, because Instant Fusion, if it gets hit, you could probably bring this back, as long as Instant Fusion is limited. If Instant Fusion gets banned, well, the Norden just becomes just a card that, I mean, some decks can still make. I mean, you have to use poly. It's not like Natis where it's contact fusion, which makes Natis slightly better, by the way. Etaton, it's got Narada, technically, and it doesn't came back, so that's sad. That Gusto Emerald, it's just literally a +1 that got banned because of Zoo. And Trident and Broad Bull. Broad Bull is the searcher, and Trident, so pop. I mean, it's a masterpiece. I mean, we have Masterpiece at 3, why can't we have another Masterpiece? Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Oh, crap. Thank you for watching this video. I am really sorry. It's been a long time I've done a video. I just have been really busy with life and shit. But, yeah. Thanks for watching. Peace.